Admiral Sarah Chen stood on the bridge of the UESS Defiance, watching the stars through the massive viewing window. Her ship was one of 300 human vessels positioned at the edge of the Crucible system. Behind her fleet, the rest of the Galactic Council's territory stretched across thousands of light years. Ahead of her lay the dark space where the Void Swarm lived. She had been standing guard here for 2 years. Every day the sensors showed movement in the darkness. Every week small groups of swarm ships tested their defenses. The humans always pushed them back. Admiral Chen knew that a big attack was coming soon. She could feel it. The Galactic Council had existed for 3,000 years. 47 different alien species worked together to keep peace in the galaxy. Humans had joined the Council only 150 years ago. They were the newest members. The oldest members were the Zorathi, who had helped create the Council long ago. When Earth joined the Council, humanity was excited. They thought they had found friends among the stars. The Council asked Earth to help protect the border. Admiral Chen and her people agreed immediately. They wanted to prove that humans could be trusted. They wanted to show that Earth deserved to be part of the galactic community. For 150 years, humans did everything the Council asked. They sent ships. They sent soldiers. They sent resources and technology. Earth gave more than most other species. Admiral Chen was proud of her people's service. Then the warning came. Commander Marcus Webb rushed onto the bridge. His face was pale. He was the chief intelligence officer, and Admiral Chen had never seen him look scared before. "The sensors are going crazy," Commander Webb said. His hands shook as he pulled up the data. "There are thousands of them, maybe tens of thousands. The Void Swarm is coming with everything they have." Admiral Chen felt her heart beat faster. She had trained for this moment. The Council had promised that when the big attack came, they would send help. 5,000 Council ships would join the human fleet. Together they would stop the swarm. "Send the emergency signal to Council Command," Admiral Chen ordered. "Tell them we need those reinforcements now. The attack will begin in less than 1 hour." Commander Webb sent the message. They waited. The minutes passed slowly. The swarm ships got closer. Still no response from the Council. Admiral Chen sent another message. Then another. Finally, a Council representative appeared on the screen. It was a Zorathi commander named Velkoth. Admiral Chen knew him. They had worked together before. "Commander Velkoth, we need those reinforcements immediately," Admiral Chen said. "The swarm will be here in 30 minutes. The Zorathi commander looked at her with cold eyes. "I am sorry, Admiral Chen. The reinforcements have been delayed. You will need to hold the line alone." Admiral Chen could not believe what she was hearing. "Alone? We have 300 ships. The swarm has more than 20,000. We cannot hold them without support." "You promised." Commander Velkoth's face showed no emotion. "Do your duty, Admiral. The Council is counting on you." Then the screen went dark. The battle was terrible. The Void Swarm came like a wave of death. Their ships were made of some kind of living metal. They did not use normal weapons. They crashed into human ships and tore them apart. Admiral Chen fought with everything she had. Her crew fought bravely. But there were too many enemies. 180 human ships were destroyed in the first hour. Thousands of people died. Admiral Chen kept calling for help. The Council never answered. She watched her friends die on the viewing screen. She watched entire crews disappear when their ships exploded. Commander Webb was trying to break through Council communication channels. He wanted to know why they had been abandoned. What he found was worse than Admiral Chen could have imagined. "Admiral, you need to see this," Commander Webb said. He had hacked into a secure Council channel. The recording started to play. It was a conversation between Council leaders. They were talking about the battle happening right now. "The humans are holding well," one voice said. "They are stronger than we expected." "That is exactly the problem," another voice replied. Admiral Chen recognized this second voice. It was Commander Velkoth. "They are too strong, too aggressive. They learn too fast. If we let them keep their fleet at full strength, they will become a threat to us." A third voice joined the conversation. It was the High Council speaker, the leader of all Council species. "So we let the swarm weaken them. The humans will lose most of their ships. Then we arrive and save what remains. They will be grateful. And they will be weak enough that we never have to fear them." Admiral Chen felt like someone had hit her in the chest. They did this on purpose. The Council had planned this. They wanted the human fleet destroyed. The people she had trusted, the leaders she had served, had sent her people to die, not by accident, not because they were delayed, but because they thought humans were dangerous. Commander Webb kept digging through the Council files. He found more evidence. For decades, the Council had been stealing human technology. They took Earth's military innovations and used them for themselves. At the same time, they refused to share their own advanced technology with humans. They kept Earth weak on purpose. The Council had even manipulated the Void Swarm attacks. They knew where the swarm was going. They could have stopped many attacks before they happened. Instead, they directed the swarm toward human positions. They wanted to keep humans busy. They wanted to keep killing humans. Admiral Chen made a decision. "All ships," she ordered. "Prepare for emergency jump. We are leaving this system." Her officers looked at her in surprise. "Leaving? But Admiral, the swarm will break through if we abandon the line." "Let them," Admiral Chen said. Her voice was hard. "The Council wanted us weak. Now they can face the swarm themselves. We are going home." She ordered every surviving ship to jump back to Earth. 120 ships made the journey. 180 had been destroyed. 60% of her fleet was gone. When they arrived at Earth, Admiral Chen sent all the evidence to the human government. Secretary General Yuki Tanaka called an emergency meeting. The leaders of Earth watched the recordings. They saw the proof of the Council's betrayal. They saw how their people had been used and then thrown away. Secretary General Tanaka asked Admiral Chen a simple question. "What do you recommend?" Admiral Chen did not hesitate. "We trusted them. We served them. We bled for them. And they repaid us with treachery. I recommend we show them what happens when you betray humanity." The decision was made. Earth would not accept this betrayal. Earth would not forgive. The Galactic Council had made a terrible mistake. They thought humans were dangerous when they were friends. Soon they would learn how dangerous humans could be as enemies. Admiral Chen looked at her surviving crew. Many of them had lost friends in the battle. Some had lost family. All of them felt the rage burning inside. She spoke to them all. "The Council called us barbarians. They said we were too violent, too aggressive. They were scared of what we might become." Her voice got harder. "They were right to be scared. We are going to show them exactly what humans can do, and they will never forget it." The Council thought they knew everything about humanity's military strength. They had seen the 300 ships that Admiral Chen commanded. They had watched humans fight for 150 years. They thought they understood what Earth could do. They were wrong. Deep in the orbit of Jupiter, something began to wake up. Massive stations that had floated in the darkness for decades suddenly came to life. Lights turned on. Engines started. Computer systems activated. Inside these stations were ships. Thousands of ships. They had been waiting in cold storage for 150 years. When Earth joined the Galactic Council, humanity made a choice. They would send ships to help the Council. They would be good members of the galactic community. But they would never put all their trust in others. Never again would humanity be helpless, so they kept a secret. The fleet Admiral Chen commanded was only 30% of Earth's real military. The other 70% had been hidden across the solar system. Some ships were in storage near Jupiter. Others were scattered through the asteroid belt. More were hidden in the cold reaches beyond Pluto. The Council never knew they existed. Admiral Chen was promoted to Supreme Commander of all United Earth Forces. She stood in the war room in Geneva, looking at screens that showed every military asset Earth possessed. Secretary General Tanaka stood beside her. Commander Webb was already working at his station, bringing all the hidden forces online. "How many ships do we really have?" Secretary General Tanaka asked. Commander Webb pulled up the numbers. 4,000 warships coming out of cold storage right now. Another 2,000 in various stages of construction at hidden shipyards. And production is about to increase dramatically. The shipyards throughout the Kuiper Belt had been labeled as mining operations. The Council thought humans were just collecting ice and minerals. In reality, those facilities were massive military factories. They had been building ships slowly and quietly for generations. Now they would run at full speed. Mars, Europa, and Titan all had military production facilities hidden underground. The Council inspectors had never found them. Now those facilities were pumping out warships at an incredible rate. 1 ship every 6 hours from each facility. Soon it would be 1 ship every 3 hours. But the ships were not the only secret. Earth's technology was far more advanced than the Council knew. For 150 years, human scientists had been developing weapons in secret. The Council had treaties that banned certain types of weapons. Humans had signed those treaties, but they had also broken them. Quietly, carefully, completely. Dr. Sarah Kim entered the war room. She was the head of Earth's weapons development program. She had spent 40 years designing things that should not exist. Now she would finally get to see her creations used. Show them, Admiral Chen said. Dr. Kim smiled and activated her presentation. The first image appeared on the screen. It showed a railgun. But this was not a normal railgun. Our magnetic acceleration technology can fire projectiles at 24% of light speed. At that velocity, shields do not matter. Armor does not matter. When these projectiles hit, they pass straight through ships like they are made of paper. The Council uses energy weapons, Dr. Kim continued. They have excellent shields against lasers and plasma, but they never prepared for kinetic weapons at relativistic speeds. We tested these guns on asteroids. A single shot can split a mountain in half. She showed the next image. This is our point defense system. The Council's computers can track and target maybe 10 incoming missiles at once. Our system can handle 400. Our AI reaction time is 40 times faster than theirs. In a missile fight, we will shoot down everything they fire. They will not shoot down anything we fire. There was more. Quantum disruption mines that could tear apart the fabric of space. Electromagnetic pulse weapons that could shut down every electronic system on a planet without killing anyone. Stealth technology that made human ships invisible to Council sensors. Faster engines, better shields, smarter computers. Everything the Council thought was impossible, humans had built. Everything the treaties had banned, humans possessed. For 150 years, Earth had been preparing for the day when they might stand alone. That day had come. There was one more secret. Commander Webb had been busy while Admiral Chen was fighting at the border. He had not just been an intelligence officer. He had been running the largest spy network in galactic history. For 100 years, human agents had been working inside Council space. They were everywhere. They saw everything. And the Council had never noticed. We have agents on every Council homeworld, Commander Webb reported. We have people inside their governments, their militaries, their intelligence services. We know their defense plans. We know where their fleets are positioned. We know which species helped plan our betrayal. He pulled up a list. 7 species were involved in the conspiracy. The Zorathi led it, but 6 others supported them. Admiral Chen studied the list. These 7 species tried to destroy us. They wanted us weak. They wanted us dead. Her voice grew cold. They will learn their mistake. Commander Webb, I want full intelligence on all 7 homeworlds. Defense positions, fleet strength, government locations, everything. Over the next month, the full strength of humanity gathered in the Sol system. Ships came out of storage. New ships rolled out of the factories. Admiral Chen watched as her fleet grew larger every day. 4,000 ships became 6,000, then 8,000, then 10,000. Finally, 12,000 warships floated in formation around Earth. It was the largest military force ever assembled in known galactic history. The Council's entire combined fleet was only 15,000 ships, and those ships were spread across hundreds of systems. Admiral Chen had 12,000 ships in one place. All of them were equipped with weapons that the Council could not match. All of them were controlled by AI that was decades more advanced. All of them were crewed by humans who were very, very angry. Elite Marine battalions prepared for boarding operations. These were not normal soldiers. They had been training in secret facilities on Europa. They used powered armor that made them stronger and faster. They carried weapons that could cut through the hull of a ship. And they had been taught to fight in ways that would terrify any enemy. Secretary General Tanaka addressed the fleet before they departed. Soldiers of Earth, she said. Her voice was broadcast to every ship. For 150 years, we served the Galactic Council with honor. We protected their borders. We shed our blood for their safety. We asked only to be treated as equals. Instead, they betrayed us. They tried to exterminate us. They thought we were barbarians who needed to be controlled. She paused. When the next words came, they were hard as steel. They were right. We are barbarians. When someone attacks our families, we do not forgive. When someone kills our friends, we do not forget. When someone betrays our trust, we make them regret it. Today we will remind the galaxy why humanity survived every challenge Earth ever threw at us. Today we will teach the Council what happens when you awaken the barbarians. Admiral Chen sent a message to the Galactic Council. It was broadcast on every channel. Every species in the galaxy could see it. She sat in her command chair wearing her uniform. Behind her, the view showed thousands of warships. The Council had never seen so many human ships before. Now they would understand what they had done. To the Galactic Council, Admiral Chen began. You betrayed us. You planned our destruction. You sent us to die while you watched from safety. She leaned forward. We have the evidence, all of it. Every communication, every plan, every lie. And now every species in the galaxy can see what you did. She transmitted all the files that Commander Webb had collected. The recordings of Council leaders planning the ambush. The documents showing how they had stolen human technology. The proof that they had been manipulating the Void Swarm. Everything. As of this moment, Admiral Chen continued. Earth withdraws from the Galactic Council. We declare war on the 7 species who orchestrated this betrayal. You wanted us weak. You thought you could destroy us. She smiled, but it was not a kind smile. Now you will face us at full strength, and may whatever gods you believe in have mercy on you, because we will not. The transmission ended. At first, the Council leaders laughed. Humans were declaring war with what? They had seen the human fleet destroyed at the border. They thought Earth was bluffing. Then their long-range scanners detected the ships. 12,000 of them, moving out of the Sol system, moving toward Council space, moving fast. The laughter stopped. The Council called an emergency session. How was this possible? Where did all these ships come from? Commander Velkoth, the Zorathi who had refused to send reinforcements, stood before the Council. He was the one who had suggested the betrayal. Now he watched the scanner data and felt fear for the first time in his long life. Panic spread through Council space. The humans were coming, and nobody was ready. Admiral Chen divided her fleet into 7 battle groups. Each group would attack one of the homeworlds that had betrayed Earth. The Zorathi had led the conspiracy, so Admiral Chen chose to lead that attack herself. She wanted to look Commander Velkoth in the eyes when his world fell. Battle Group Vengeance consisted of 2,000 ships. It was more than enough. The Zorathi had the 2nd largest fleet in the Council, with 3,000 warships. They were proud of their military strength. They had been fighting wars for 5,000 years. They thought they could handle any threat. Admiral Chen's fleet arrived at the edge of the Zorathi home system. The alien fleet was already waiting. 3,000 ships formed a defensive wall around their homeworld. It looked impressive. Commander Velkoth sent a transmission. He appeared on screen wearing his ceremonial armor. He looked confident. Admiral Chen, you have made a foolish mistake, Commander Velkoth said. You cannot win this battle. Surrender now and we will be merciful. We will only imprison you for your crimes. Your people can return to serving the Council properly. Admiral Chen looked at him with cold eyes. You left us to die, she said quietly. You planned our destruction. You called us barbarians. Her voice got harder. Now let me show you what barbarians can do. The transmission ended. Admiral Chen gave the order. All ships activate Hellfire Protocol. This was the name humans had given to their new combat doctrine. It was designed to overwhelm any enemy completely. The Zorathi had never seen anything like it. The human ships moved forward in perfect formation. The Zorathi opened fire with their energy weapons. Bright beams of plasma shot across space. The human shields absorbed some hits, but the Zorathi weapons were powerful. They expected to see human ships explode. Instead, the human ships fired back. The railguns activated. Solid metal projectiles shot out at 24% of light speed. At that speed, they were almost impossible to see coming. The Zorathi shields were designed to stop energy weapons. They did nothing against these kinetic projectiles. The first railgun shot hit a Zorathi battleship dead center. The projectile passed through the shield like it was not there. It tore through the ship's hull. It kept going through the other side. The battleship broke in half. Secondary explosions ripped it apart. The entire process took 3 seconds. Then 2,000 human ships all fired at once. The Zorathi fleet was hit by a wave of metal moving at a quarter of the speed of light. Ships exploded everywhere. Commander Velkoth watched in horror as his proud fleet was torn to pieces. He tried to order evasive maneuvers, but the human targeting systems were too fast. The Zorathi fired missiles. Thousands of missiles streaked toward the human fleet. Any normal fleet would have been overwhelmed. But the human point defense systems activated. Each human ship could track 400 targets at once. The AI calculated trajectories faster than any organic mind could process. Defensive guns fired with perfect accuracy. Every single Zorathi missile was destroyed before it reached the human ships. Not one got through. The Zorathi commanders could not believe what they were seeing. Their weapons were useless. Their tactics were useless. They were being slaughtered. The battle lasted 47 minutes. When it was over, 2,847 Zorathi ships had been destroyed. 153 tried to retreat. Admiral Chen let them go. She wanted survivors. She wanted them to tell others what had happened here. Human casualties were minimal. 23 ships had taken damage. 2 had been destroyed when multiple plasma beams hit the same spot. That was all. Admiral Chen looked at the casualty reports. 400 human lives lost. Compared to the hundreds of thousands of Zorathi dead, it was nothing. But Admiral Chen did not celebrate. She remembered the 180 ships lost at the Council border. She remembered the thousands of her people who had died there. This victory did not bring them back. Nothing would bring them back. Now came the next phase. Admiral Chen could have destroyed Zorath Prime from orbit. She could have glassed the planet, turned the surface into burning wasteland. The Zorathi had tried to exterminate humanity. Many of her officers wanted revenge. But Admiral Chen had a different plan. "We are not monsters," she told her crew. "We will not kill billions of innocent civilians. We are here to deliver justice, not genocide." Her ships moved into position around the planet. Then they fired the electromagnetic pulse weapons. Dr. Kim's EMP technology was very precise. It sent out waves of electromagnetic energy that fried every electronic device on the planet. But it did not harm living things. On Zorath Prime, every computer shut down. Every communication system went dark. Every vehicle stopped working. The entire planetary infrastructure collapsed in seconds. The Zorathi civilization went from advanced spacefaring society to primitive technology level in moments. They would not starve. The EMP did not damage their food production, but they would not be launching any more ships. They would not be coordinating any more betrayals. They would spend the next decade rebuilding everything they had lost. Then the Marine battalions deployed. Dropships carried elite soldiers down to the surface. They had very specific targets: government buildings, military command centers, the homes of council leaders who had planned the betrayal. The Marines moved fast and struck hard. Commander Velkoth tried to hide, but Commander Webb's intelligence network knew exactly where he was. A Marine team breached his bunker within an hour. They found him trying to destroy evidence. The Marines arrested him and 68 other high-ranking officials. All of them had participated in the conspiracy. Admiral Chen had them brought to her flagship. She wanted to talk to Commander Velkoth personally. He was brought to the bridge in restraints. He looked different now. The confidence was gone. He looked old and tired. "You destroyed my fleet in less than an hour," Commander Velkoth said. His voice shook. "Where did you get such weapons? How long have you been hiding this strength?" Admiral Chen smiled. "Since the day we joined your council. We never trusted you completely. We always knew that someday we might stand alone. You just gave us a reason." The same scene played out across 6 other star systems. Human battle groups struck the homeworlds of all 7 species that had betrayed Earth. Each battle was brutally one-sided. The council species had powerful fleets. They had been fighting wars for thousands of years. None of it mattered. Human technology was too advanced. Human tactics were too effective. Within 72 hours, 5 homeworlds had fallen. Their fleets were destroyed. Their governments were captured. Their electronic infrastructure was disabled. The council species learned a terrible lesson. Humans had been holding back. For 150 years, Earth had pretended to be weaker than they were. The council had never suspected the truth. The Galactic Council called an emergency session. The remaining members were terrified. If humans could destroy 7 homeworlds in 3 days, what could they do to the rest? Some species wanted to fight. Others wanted to negotiate. Most just wanted to survive. Then the news came that changed everything. The Void Swarm was attacking. After the human fleet withdrew from the border, nothing had stopped the swarm from advancing. They poured through the gap in huge numbers. Now they were sweeping across council space. Dozens of systems were under attack. The council sent a desperate message to Earth. They begged for help. They offered to give humans anything they wanted: technology, resources, territory. They would make any deal if humans would just help stop the swarm. Secretary General Tanaka received the message. She read it aloud to the human leadership. "They are asking for our help," she said. "After everything they did. After they tried to exterminate us. Now they want us to save them. What should we tell them?" Admiral Chen thought about it. She thought about her friends who had died at the border. She thought about the betrayal. She thought about the Council's fear and desperation. Then she thought about the Void Swarm. If they destroyed the Council, they would eventually come for Earth too. "We help them," Admiral Chen said finally. "Not because they deserve it. Not because we forgive them, but because the swarm is a threat to everyone, including us." Her eyes were hard. "But we do it our way. No more following Council orders. No more trusting their promises. We fight the swarm and they fight alongside us. No more free rides." Secretary General Tanaka sent the response to the Council. Earth would help. But things would be different now. The Council would follow human leadership. They would share all their resources. They would fight beside human troops. And when this was over, there would be a reckoning. The old Council was finished. Something new would take its place. The Void Swarm came from the darkness between galaxies. They had existed for millions of years. They had destroyed 17 entire galaxies before reaching this one. Their ships were made from some kind of living metal that could repair itself. Their hive mind controlled billions of creatures across thousands of light years. For 3,000 years, the Galactic Council had been fighting them. Sometimes the Council won battles. Sometimes they lost. But they could never truly defeat the swarm. The best they could do was hold them back. Keep them contained in dark space. Prevent them from sweeping across the galaxy. Now the situation had changed. With the human fleet gone from the border, nothing stopped the swarm. They sensed weakness. They sensed opportunity. 50,000 bioships poured through 7 different entry points. They spread across Council space like a plague. The Council tried to fight back, but their fleets were scattered. Many of their best ships had been destroyed by humans in the recent war. The species that remained were frightened and disorganized. They sent what forces they could. It was not enough. Entire civilizations began to fall. The swarm attacked colony worlds first. They consumed everything, all biological matter, all resources. They left planets as dead rocks floating in space. Then they moved to the homeworlds. Billions of refugees fled in panic. There was nowhere safe to go. Admiral Chen watched the reports coming in. She saw the death toll climbing. Millions, then billions. The swarm was moving fast. At this rate, they would reach Earth's colonies within months. Human space would be next. The Council sent another message. They were begging now. "Please," the message said. "We were wrong to betray you. We admit our crime. But if you let the swarm win, everyone dies. Humans, too. You must help us. Not for our sake. For the sake of the entire galaxy." Secretary General Tanaka called a meeting with Earth's military leaders. Admiral Chen was there. So was Commander Webb and Dr. Kim. They discussed the options. Some wanted to let the Council burn. They had earned their fate. But most agreed that the swarm was too dangerous to ignore. "We cannot let the swarm destroy everything," Admiral Chen said. "But I refuse to die for the Council again. If we do this, we do it smart. We use the Council species as support. We take command, and we make sure they know that we are saving them, not the other way around." Secretary General Tanaka sent the response. Earth would help. But there would be conditions. Human forces would take overall command. Council species would provide support troops and resources. All military decisions would go through Admiral Chen. And when this was over, there would be a new order. The Council agreed immediately. They had no choice. Admiral Chen addressed her fleet before they departed. "Soldiers of Earth," she said, "we are not doing this for the Council. They betrayed us. They tried to exterminate us. We owe them nothing. But we are doing this for survival. Our survival. If the swarm destroys the Council, they come for us next. So we fight. Not for them, for us. For Earth, for humanity." 8,000 human warships deployed. They brought with them 2,000 Council ships that had survived the recent conflicts. It was still fewer than the 50,000 swarm vessels. But Admiral Chen had a plan. She had been studying the Void Swarm for a long time. Humans had captured swarm specimens over the years. Dr. Kim had been examining them carefully. "We know how they work now," Dr. Kim explained to the command staff. The swarm ships are held together by exotic matter. It exists in multiple dimensions at once. That is why they are so hard to kill. Normal weapons just damage one dimension. The ship repairs itself using matter from other dimensions. But there is a weakness, Dr. Kim continued. If you disrupt the quantum fields that hold the exotic matter together, the ship falls apart. All dimensions at once. Complete destruction. She smiled. We have developed quantum disruption mines that do exactly that. The Council never knew we were working on this. They did not even know it was possible. Admiral Chen chose the Crucible Nebula as the battleground. It was a massive cloud of gas and dust with strong gravitational currents. Ships could hide in the nebula. Sensors did not work well there. It was perfect for an ambush. Admiral Chen positioned 8,000 human ships throughout the nebula. She created a trap. The 2,000 Council ships formed the outer perimeter. They would be bait. The swarm would see them and attack. When the swarm entered the nebula, they would find themselves surrounded by human forces, and then the quantum disruption mines would activate. Commander Webb sent false intelligence to the swarm through captured communication nodes. The information suggested that a large refugee fleet was gathering in the Crucible Nebula. Millions of civilians trying to escape. The swarm could not resist such a target. They sent 30,000 bioships to attack. The swarm fleet arrived at the nebula. They detected the Council ships on the perimeter. The hive mind calculated that this was an easy victory. They would destroy these ships quickly. Then they would consume the refugees inside the nebula. The swarm ships moved forward. The Council ships fired at the advancing swarm. Their weapons did some damage, but not enough. The swarm kept coming. The Council ships began to retreat into the nebula, exactly as planned. The swarm followed them, deeper and deeper into the cloud of gas and dust, straight into the trap. When 15,000 swarm ships were inside the nebula, Admiral Chen gave the order. Activate all mines, now. Throughout the nebula, thousands of quantum disruption mines turned on. They created localized quantum field collapses. Space itself seemed to tear apart in small bubbles. The swarm bioships flew through these quantum bubbles. Their exotic matter structure could not handle the disruption. The ships began to fall apart. Not just in this dimension, in all dimensions at once. They simply disintegrated into clouds of basic particles. No explosion, no fire. They just stopped existing. 15,000 swarm ships died in the first 8 minutes. The hive mind screamed in shock and pain. It had never experienced losses like this. Never in millions of years. The remaining swarm ships tried to retreat. But now the human fleet revealed itself. 8,000 warships appeared from hiding throughout the nebula. The human ships opened fire with their railguns. At close range in the nebula, the swarm could not dodge. Solid projectiles moving at a quarter of light speed tore through bioship after bioship. The human point defense system shot down every swarm weapon. The battle turned into a slaughter. The swarm hive mind had never felt fear before. It was too ancient, too powerful. It had destroyed galaxies, but now for the first time in its long existence, it understood what fear meant. These humans had weapons that could kill swarm ships completely. These humans had tactics that the hive mind could not predict. These humans were winning. Admiral Chen watched as the swarm fleet broke apart. Some bioships tried to fight. They were destroyed quickly. Others tried to flee. The human ships chased them down. She gave no mercy. After 3 hours of battle, only a handful of swarm ships escaped. 29,500 had been destroyed. The cost was high for humanity too. 600 human ships had been destroyed. The swarm had managed to overwhelm some positions despite everything. 200,000 human personnel died in the battle. Admiral Chen read the casualty lists. Each name was a person who would never go home. Each loss hurt. The Council ships lost half their remaining fleet. 1,000 ships destroyed. But they had helped win a great victory. For the first time ever, the Void Swarm had been defeated decisively. Not just pushed back. Actually defeated. The remaining swarm forces began retreating from Council space. The hive mind was afraid to face humans again. Admiral Chen received reports from across the galaxy. The swarm was pulling back. They were returning to dark space. They were leaving Council territory for the first time in 3,000 years. Humanity had done what the Council could never do. They had broken the Void Swarm. She stood on her bridge and looked at the stars. So many dead, she thought, on both sides. All this death because the Council feared us, because they tried to betray us. If they had just trusted us from the beginning, none of this would have happened. But there was no point thinking about what might have been. She had to deal with what was. Secretary General Tanaka sent a message to the surviving council leaders. "The battle is won," the message said. "The swarm is retreating, but this changes nothing about what you did to us. There will be a reckoning. The old council is dead. When we return, we will build something new, something better, and you will accept it, or you will face us again." The council members who received this message knew they had no choice. Humanity had saved them, but humanity had not forgiven them. The balance of power in the galaxy had shifted forever. Earth was no longer a junior member. Earth was no longer weak. Earth was the strongest military force in known space, and everyone knew it. The Void Swarm retreated beyond Council space for the first time in 3,000 years. Across the galaxy, species that had lived in constant fear could finally breathe easier. But the victory came with a price. The old Galactic Council was broken. Trust between species had collapsed, and everyone knew that humanity now held the real power. Admiral Chen returned to Earth with her fleet. She had left with 12,000 ships. She came back with 11,400. 600 ships lost in the fight against the swarm. 200,000 personnel dead. Earth held memorial services for them all. They had died saving a galaxy that had betrayed them. Admiral Chen made sure everyone remembered that. The trials began 1 month after the swarm's defeat. Commander Velkoth and 68 other council officials were brought before a galactic tribunal. The evidence against them was overwhelming. They had planned to sacrifice the human fleet. They had stolen human technology. They had manipulated attacks to keep humans weak. Every species in the galaxy watched the proceedings. Admiral Chen testified at the trial. She stood before the tribunal and told the story of the betrayal. She showed the recordings of council leaders planning her fleet's destruction. She explained how she had called for help while her people died. She described watching her friends' ships explode while the council refused to answer. When she finished, there was silence in the chamber. Then Admiral Chen said something that shocked everyone. "We could have exterminated you. After the betrayal, we had every right. We had the power. My fleet could have destroyed every homeworld that conspired against us. We could have killed billions." Her voice grew hard. "We did not. We disabled your infrastructure. We captured your leaders. We left your people alive. Remember that. Remember that humanity chose mercy when we could have chosen vengeance." The tribunal found all 69 officials guilty of conspiracy to commit genocide. The sentence was life imprisonment on remote human penal colonies. No execution, no torture, just permanent removal from power. The galaxy saw that humans could be both fierce and just. It was a powerful message. With the old council dissolved, the galaxy needed a new system. Secretary General Tanaka called for a conference on Earth. Representatives from all species were invited. Many came reluctantly. They knew they had no real choice. Humanity had the largest fleet. Humanity had the best weapons. Humanity had proven they could defeat any threat. Whatever Earth proposed would become reality. The conference lasted 3 weeks. Secretary General Tanaka presented the Terra Accords. This would be the foundation of the new galactic order. The rules were simple but revolutionary. No species could keep military secrets from the Alliance. Everyone would share technology and knowledge. No species could suppress another's development. All members would contribute equally to defense based on their capabilities. Some species objected. They wanted to keep their secrets. They wanted to maintain advantages. Secretary General Tanaka listened to their complaints. Then she said something that ended all debate. The old council kept secrets. The old council played power games. The old council tried to control which species could become strong. And look where that led. Betrayal, war, nearly galactic extinction. "We will not repeat those mistakes," she continued speaking. "Under the Terra Accords, every species will know what others possess. Every species will have access to the same technology. There will be no hidden weapons. No secret fleets. No conspiracies. This is not about trust. This is about survival. The Void Swarm is still out there. Other threats may come. We must be united and strong. All of us." The Terra Accords also changed military doctrine across the galaxy. Human tactics became the standard. Human training methods were adopted by other species. Admiral Chen was appointed Supreme Marshal of the Galactic Defense Forces. She would command all military operations. Under her leadership, combined fleets would guard the borders. No single species would stand alone against threats. Earth did not demand formal leadership of the new alliance. Secretary General Tanaka refused the title of High Leader, but everyone understood the reality. Humanity held the military power. Humanity had saved the galaxy. When Earth spoke, others listened. Not because they were forced to, but because they had learned what happened when they ignored human warnings. 23 species formally petitioned Earth to lead the alliance. They wanted human protection. They wanted access to human technology. Most importantly, they wanted to make sure they would never face human anger themselves. Secretary General Tanaka accepted their requests, but she made them understand the cost. Leadership means responsibility. We will protect you, but you must follow our example. You must be honest. You must be strong. You must be ready to defend yourselves and others. Human technology began spreading across the galaxy, slowly at first, carefully. Earth shared the quantum disruption weapons that had defeated the swarm. They shared the railgun technology. They shared the advanced AI systems, but they also made sure every species understood how to use these weapons responsibly, and they kept watch to ensure nobody tried to use them against Earth. Other species began changing in response to human influence. They built redundant systems. They prepared backup fleets. They stopped trusting that others would protect them. They learned to be paranoid, to plan for worst cases, to never put all their hopes in one basket. These were human traits, and they spread throughout the galaxy. A human phrase became wisdom across dozens of worlds. Hope for peace, prepare for war. It was written in hundreds of languages. It was taught to children in schools. It represented the new galactic philosophy. Everyone wanted peace, but everyone would be ready if peace failed. Admiral Chen stood on the bridge of her flagship, the UESS Defiance, looking out at the fleet under her command. 50 years had passed since the betrayal. She was older now, gray hair, lines on her face from decades of command, but her eyes were still sharp, still alert, still watching for threats. Commander Webb joined her at the window. He was old too now. Both of them had given their lives to military service. They had fought wars. They had saved civilizations. They had changed the galaxy. Do you think they have learned their lesson? Webb asked. He was looking at the mixed fleet before them. Human ships. Zorathi ships. Ships from 24 species all working together. Some have, Admiral Chen replied. Some species truly understand now. They know that we are stronger together. They know that betrayal and conspiracy only lead to disaster. She paused. Others learned a different lesson. They learned to fear us. They obey because they are afraid. Not because they are friends, is that enough? Webb asked. Fear and respect? Admiral Chen thought about the question. For now, yes. Fear keeps them honest. Respect makes them listen. Maybe someday their children or grandchildren will feel genuine friendship. But our generation? We will always remember the betrayal, and they will always remember the consequences. The sensors detected something at the edge of the system. Movement in dark space. Admiral Chen felt her muscles tense. Old instincts never died. She checked the readings. It was the Void Swarm, a small group. Testing the defenses again. All ships prepare for combat, Admiral Chen ordered. The mixed fleet responded immediately. Human ships, Zorathi ships, and others all moved into formation. They had trained together for 50 years. They knew the tactics. They knew the weapons. They were ready. The swarm scouts detected the fleet and immediately retreated. They did not even try to fight. The hive mind remembered what happened at the Crucible Nebula. It remembered the quantum weapons. It remembered the slaughter. The swarm had learned to fear this galaxy, especially the humans who defended it. Commander Webb smiled. They run now. Every time. They see our fleet and they turn around. We broke them. Admiral Chen nodded, for now. But the swarm is patient. They have existed for millions of years. They will try again someday. Maybe not in our lifetime, maybe not for 1,000 years. But they will come back, and we will be ready, Webb said with confidence. Admiral Chen looked at him. Then she looked at the mixed fleet. Ships from dozens of worlds all working together, all using human tactics, all carrying human weapons, all following human leadership. Yes, she said. We will be ready. Because we taught them how to be ready. She thought back to that day 50 years ago, when she had limped back to Earth with a shattered fleet, when she had felt the rage burning inside her, when she had wanted nothing more than revenge. That rage had driven her to war. It had driven humanity to show their true strength. It had changed the galaxy forever, but the rage was gone now, replaced by something else. Determination, vigilance, the knowledge that humanity would never again be weak. Never again be betrayed. Never again be underestimated. The galaxy had tried to destroy Earth. Instead, Earth had saved the galaxy, and in doing so, had become its guardian. Admiral Chen smiled. It was a small smile. A tired smile. But it was genuine. We did not conquer them, she said to Webb. We could have. After the betrayal, we could have ruled through fear. Made them all servants. But that would have made us tyrants. We chose a different path. What path was that? Webb asked, though he knew the answer. Admiral Chen looked at the stars. The path of teachers. We taught them that betrayal has consequences. We taught them that unity is strength.